Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, we appreciate that. We do upload these shows to Facebook. Of course, it keeps it on our Facebook page in perpetuity, and I do apologize for that this morning. I'm a little snotty. You know, the allergy season is getting started, or has been started. I'm just sneezing this morning, so do excuse me on that one. We also appreciate those who are listening or watching later. We do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We appreciate you listening or watching in that format. Excuse me. Also want to remind folks that we do have a coronavirus page on our website. Please check that out. It is free. Just go see all the information we're putting out on the coronavirus if you so choose. I know a lot of people, for some reason, have kind of moved on from that. It's still here, and we're going to talk about it a little bit today. That's kind of the main focus. We're going to have a pretty quick show. Getting into your traffic, Dunn Road roundabout is open. So the roundabout at Dunn Road and Lockhart is open. There's still some minor construction that has to go on, but for the most part, the actual flow of traffic is happening through that area. So please go check it out if you so choose. Of course, they'll be moving into other roundabouts shortly, which also include one right down the street at Eden Church in Lockhart. That'll probably be the next project, as well as Jubin Road in 190. So that'll be there. Also, some good news in that area. The Linder Road Bridge is open. They'll be installing guardrails next week, but for the time being, they have opened it up for traffic. So I know those of you who either use Linder Road or live off Linder Road, that's a good sign. Buddy Ellis is still under construction. That construction is going to continue for a while, most of the summer, so please keep that in mind. You're looking at some minor delays at Jubin and 190 this morning, as well as 190, 4H Club Road, and River Road. Some delays on the on-ramps heading onto the interstate. However, good sign, I-12 is flowing. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central, and some minor delays on Range Avenue right there at Veterans Highway. It just looks like some stacked up traffic as folks move towards the interstate. Getting into your weather today, 71 degrees is your current temperature. 89 degrees is going to be your high today. It's going to get up right around 90. 72 your overnight low. You're looking at a 30% of afternoon thunderstorms right around 2 o'clock, right into the 6 o'clock hour. So about a 20 to 30% chance during that 4-hour span. Probably going to get some afternoon showers, so prepare yourselves for that. I'm sorry if you're watching this, you're kind of watching me mess around with my microphone a little bit. It got moved when I moved my chair this morning, trying to get myself set back up here. Getting into Cristobal yesterday, the governor talked about that at his press conference. One of the things that he really wants to reiterate with folks is get prepared now. Please remember that we are still in the middle of a public health emergency. Responding to a disaster is going to look completely different than how it looked in the past, and he's very much concerned that a lot of people have moved on past COVID. He's not blind to that. He wants to remind folks that in order to respond to this public health emergency, responding to a disaster is going to look different. So he asks folks, please keep that in mind as we get closer and closer towards Cristobal's landfall. That's going to happen probably early next week. Right now, you're looking at the earliest sign of effects here in the Livingston Parish area, probably sometime Sunday night, Monday morning. Everything's still shifting. It's still a couple of days out. You know how we're all experienced with this now. It's going to take probably going to be tomorrow, Saturday, before we get a real good idea of exactly when it's going to make landfall. Right now, the cone of uncertainty has sort of tightened, and it's going to hit Louisiana according to that cone of uncertainty. We've also seen some crazy turns at the last minute too. So let's keep an eye on this. Stay with us for it. We're going to be keeping you updated daily for right now. As we get closer to landfall, we'll move towards more of a hourly type update on our website, or not necessarily hourly. They go about every 4 hours at the National Hurricane Center, providing an update, and we'll stay with you for those. But we are going to be keeping an eye on Cristobal. It's going to be a tropical storm when it makes landfall. That's the current projection. And you're looking, we'll probably, right now they're saying that the Baton Rouge Livingston Parish Ascension area is going to be on that eastern eye wall side, which is usually the side that gets the most, I guess you can say, is the side that gets the most rain. Right now they're projecting anywhere from 10 to 15 inches But it does look like a lot of this weekend rain we were going to get isn't going to be as bad as we thought. So that should be okay. Right now, current drainage infrastructure should be able to handle that. We'll know more in the coming days as the storm gets closer. But right now, they're projecting a Monday landfall with effects, which is wind and rain and that sort of thing, hitting the Livingston Parish area sometime Sunday night. So, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Also want to let folks know, yesterday we talked about the march, said we had some problems with our website, trouble getting those pictures up. We have figured out that problem. Mr. David Gray uploaded his photos yesterday. You can find him at www.livingstonparishnews.com. He also has a story up. The marchers, protesters, and both were looking for a little bit of unity, and they found it, of course, with local law enforcement as well as local city officials. So overall, the protest was a success, or the march was a success. It went where it wanted to go. It came right back, and it did it all peacefully and with the help of local officials. So congratulations to those folks who participated in that. Again, you can go check out those non-issue photos. We had some problems with the photos. That's why we didn't run them on our website. You can check those out, again, on our website, as mentioned. Getting into our coronavirus statistics, 41,133 cases statewide, 2,759 deaths, 31,728 have recovered. 403,000 total tests have been administered in Louisiana. 617 are currently hospitalized on 86 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, you're looking at 446 cases, 31 deaths, 6,500 reported tests. Getting into your mitigation efforts real quick, wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Control your cough with an elbow or a tissue. Don't touch your face, which is one that I struggle with. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. 10 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home to work if at all possible, and stay home if you are sick. Utilize telehealth to get in touch with a doctor. Couple of things to talk about real quick. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty quick show today. Trump issued an executive order yesterday stating that the departments that had waived a lot of regulations and a lot of paperwork, a lot of bureaucratic issues, to continue to keep those on the wayside as we move into places like phase 2, phase 3, that sort of thing. According to President Trump, as well as the Congressional Budget Office Chairman, it looked like a lot of these regulations and things were unnecessary. Now, we'll find out as time goes along. But right now, President Trump's trying to do everything he can to spur some economic activity. So a lot of those regulations that had been waived for coronavirus will remain waived as we move through these phases. Now, whether or not as we move towards a vaccine and that kind of thing, they are re-implemented, time will tell. But for right now, a lot of business regulations, a lot of economic regulations will remain waived. He wasn't exactly clear on what those would be, mostly because the executive branch is quite large. So those executive orders, what they do is it is a edict from the president to those upon which he has control, which is most of the executive branch. So if he has, say, a secretary, Secretary of the Economy, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the Interior, those types of things, and he tells their department, operate this way, that's how they operate unless, the courts say otherwise or Congress passes a law that they must operate this way. A lot of times with checks and balances, that most of those things don't usually happen, of course, unless you're breaking laws that already exist. So when he issues these executive orders, it is to let the people under him know this is how we're going to operate for the time being. And for the time being, they are trying to, again, spur economic activity. Right, we'll find out more about the total unemployment rate today. Usually those facts and figures are compiled nationwide. For Thursday, we'll have a better idea of where Louisiana stands as well, and we'll also get the numbers from BRAC, which is the Baton Rouge Area Chamber, to let us know kind of where Livingston sits. As of last week, which was calculating the end of the week of the 23rd, we were looking at roughly 18,000 unemployed from Livingston Parish. Hopefully, as we move into phase 2, these numbers will all get a little better in Louisiana. Senator Cassidy has joined a bipartisan group trying to use his background as a doctor to make things like contact tracing and tracking apps that track those who either have COVID-19 or who are looking for folks with COVID-19, making sure that the privacy is a little more, I guess you can say, strict. There's more strict privacy laws, that doctors and healthcare professionals are involved with the development of these apps and sending them out and that sort of thing. They're trying to strike a balance here between, I guess what you can say would be people who are worried about their privacy, worried about participating in things like contact tracing, and on the other side, trying to make sure that we gather enough data about the coronavirus, about the spread of COVID-19, and make sure that we don't continue to have these rising deaths. And as we continue to open, we stay in front of the virus. So it's a tough balance. It's a tough balance to strike, really. And it's going to be interesting to see how these kinds of laws go forward, because a lot of people just want things like that to be voluntary, and they just don't want to participate. Of course, the governor said on Monday actually it was Dr. Alex Bu said on Monday that participation in the contact tracing program was difficult to garner. A lot of people just aren't interested in it. They aren't real sure. I guess you can say if they really want to participate in it because of the privacy issues. A lot of people are worried about their privacy. So it's going to be interesting to see if laws like this push people into wanting to participate in those programs as part of this public health emergency. I'm sure time will tell. Mobile testing sites are continuing in and around Livingston Parish. They run from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we have a full list of those on our website. You can check it out on our coronavirus page. The Livingston Parish Fairgrounds will be the next destination. That's coming up Monday, June 8th. Again, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Those fairgrounds are right outside the west, I guess, city line or town line of the town of Livingston on 190. Again, that'll be from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday, June 8th. Of course, tomorrow, phase 2 will begin. Some of the, excuse me, that proclamation is supposed to be signed today. Some of those things that had been closed in phase 1 will reopen in phase 2, this time at 25% capacity. That includes tattoo parlors, swimming pools, event centers, those types of things, day spas. Those that were, bars too, don't forget bars. Those that were open in phase 1 are going to move up to 50% capacity. That includes restaurants. So a lot of restaurant owners are very excited about this. They're going to have to find some clever ways to keep that 6 feet of distance between customers and waitresses and waiters and that kind of thing. But trying to continue to move into these new phases. Of course, phase 3 will be, the announcement will be 2 weeks from Monday. However, it will last a full 21 days as they try to gather that data to make sure that we're not having spikes in cases and rapid growth and that sort of thing because of these reopenings. The Louisiana High School Association, or LHSAA, released some guidance for the summer training programs. Right now, basketball, football, and that sort of thing are limited to no contact type training only, which usually means squads of kids coming in to maintain social distancing and do their lifting. After that, some of these low contact sports like volleyball can practice as long as it's 25 or less to a gathering, which includes the coach. And we're going to be waiting for phase 3 to see if football can get back going and get these kids training well enough to play in the fall. But you can read those full guidelines on our website. Mr. Rob DeArmond caught up with the LHSAA administrators about how that's going to work. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Zach Miller, who is the Live Oak High School soccer coach, boys soccer coach, is now the director of youth soccer at Pard. So he's going to be doing a little double dipping, a little double duty as he moves forward here. And, Coach Miller said, they asked me to do it, and I said, why not? So he's looking to get real deep down into the development of kids, trying to get to them as young as possible, get them ready to go forward and participate at junior high and high school soccer programs. Soccer is continuing to expand here in Livingston Parish. It's always kind of been a big youth sport, but not as big at the high schools as it is now, and continues to grow. So it's going to be a chance for him to expand that sport here in Livingston Parish from the bottom up. Let's talk about these mitigation efforts one more time before I let you go. Wash hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Control your cough with an elbow or a tissue. Don't touch your face, the one I have trouble with. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. 10 or less to a gathering if at all possible. Please try to make it less. Now, of course, once phase 2 comes, we're going to be increasing that to 25 or less, so please keep that in mind. Stay home. If you are sick, utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor, and try to stay home to work if at all possible. Want to remind folks of these coronavirus statistics: 41,133 cases in Louisiana, 2,759 deaths, 31,728 have recovered. 403,000 tests have been administered, 617 have been hospitalized on 86 ventilators. 446 cases in Livingston Parish, 31 deaths, 6,500 reported tests. Want to remind folks of that mobile testing site coming to Livingston Parish Fairgrounds Monday, June 8th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Also want to remind folks that the Dunn Road at Lockhart roundabout is open. There's still some minor construction to be done, mostly cosmetic. The roundabout itself is open and accepting traffic. Linder Road Bridge is also open. That's a big deal. And Buddy Ellis work continues. So that's a widening project as well as some subsurface drainage. So I know the people on Buddy Ellis have got to be excited about that. Looking at your traffic today, Jubin and 190, some minor delays. On ramps with some delays. I-12 is flowing. Minor delays on 64 hitting into Central, and minor delays at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190. It's currently 71 degrees. 89 degrees is your high today. 72 degrees your overnight low. Looking at a 30% chance of rain after 2 p.m., and that'll last until about 6 p.m. Don't forget that Cristobal is looking more and more like it's going to come this way. Yesterday, the governor said it's looking like Baton Rouge, Livingston Parish area is going to catch that eastern eye wall, which usually has the most rain. We're going to catch about 10 to 15 inches. We will see what that looks like a little closer to time. Right now, you're looking at effects from that storm sometime Sunday. Also want to remind folks to get a game plan now. In the middle of this public health emergency, responding to a disaster is a little different. Try to remind your family, your neighbors, your friends to try to keep socially distanced, especially as this thing's coming. And of course, might not get any help from nearby states as this storm comes closer because everybody else is dealing with a public health emergency as well. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show today. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month. I don't know why I put up 6 and said 7. It is $7 a month. We're also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. Want to thank you guys as well for your patience. Somebody asked me yesterday exactly what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for what is called an HDMI conversion card. I'm going to start doing this live stream in HD. We're going to have it all live on our page, and I'll actually be able to talk to you guys, like make comments and stuff as you talk to me as I do the show. So looking forward to doing that. But of course, they came out with a new version of an HDMI capture card, and it sold out real quick. So I got bumped to round 2, I guess you can say, of the shipments, and I should be getting it Sunday night or Monday. So we may have this format through next Monday. Starting next Tuesday, we'll go to that. Hopefully I get it Sunday, and we'll start next Monday, but we'll see. Either way, we're still going to keep doing the show. We do appreciate you joining us this morning. Hope you have a great day. Stay dry this afternoon, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning, Friday.